Hello everyone and welcome back to Shay Spills podcast. Of course, I'm Sheillann. Welcome back. I know it's been a while. I was proceeding to go with season 2 of Behind the Streams. Due to emails and contacting, no one unfortunately replied and emails addresses did not work for some reason. So I'm going to put that on a hold until September and we'll crack on with that then. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about F1's Monte Carlo and Azerbaijan's Baku's Grand Prix. I was home for Monte Carlo, but I didn't fully watch it because I had my grandfather's 90th. And then Azerbaijan, which was just last weekend. Well, I was working, so I couldn't see it, but I was keeping an eye on it, really. And obviously this weekend is the Canadian Grand Prix. We have 22 race days this year. The first one was obviously in Bahrain and the last one is in Abu Dhabi. And we only have, we're only not even halfway. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 races left for the rest of the year. Following Canadian Grand Prix, it will be the British Grand Prix, Austrian, French, Hungarian, Belgium, Dutch, Italian, Singapore, Japanese, United States, Mexico. I'm going to just say Brazil because it's easier. Not Audi Dubai. Goodness me, why couldn't I say it? So obviously the Grand Prix for Canadian is this weekend. The last two was Monaco and Azerbaijan. Let's talk about Monaco, shall we? Because let's be fair, that was an interesting one. I did watch the hour beforehand of everything was going on. So I had that watch and I saw the beginning of the race when I was out and then came back and found that Mick Schumacher crashed, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail. So obviously this year's winner was Red Bull. And it was obviously Sergio Perez won it. And obviously the year before was Max Verstappen. So 2 years in a row, Red Bull won it. Obviously, the weather, it was quite a lot of problems, wasn't it? There was delays beforehand of the hour of the lights not working. So that delayed them almost an hour. And then when they went to go for a formation lap, the weather just absolutely drowned everything, and the weather just kept drowning with rain, and they had to put it on hold for another hour, I believe. So that race, I believe, was at least an hour to 2 hours behind. And with that as well, because of Sky Sports, they had to move the Sky F1 race, which was only halfway through it really, from the time schedule, because they had a football match on afterwards. They had to move it from the main event to the F1 channel. So to watch the rest of it, you had to go back onto the F1. So let's talk about the qualifying first. Charles Leclerc storms the pole, Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz in the last lap collision. So Leclerc has got P1 for the qualification to have the Grand Prix race, like, finale. I don't know why I said that like that. Sainz, despite hitting Perez, is set to join his teammate on the front grind. Why can I say it? Grid. Jeez, my God, so sorry. Grid. As the Spaniard laminated a late yellow flag when coming around the corner at the Porter, he slammed onto the brakes and couldn't avoid the Red Bull. Perez still third. Verstappen was P4, I believe. Yeah, P4, along ahead with Lando Norris, who impressively beat both Mercedes, which is fantastic. So let's talk about who were the top 10. 10 was Esteban Ocon. I say. Ninth was Sebastian Vettel. 8 was Lewis Hamilton. 7 was Fernando Alonso. 6 was George Russell, let's say. 5 was Lando Norris. 4 was Max Verstappen. 3rd was Perez, second was Sainz, and Leclerc was P1. From my point of view, Ferrari is doing incredibly well this season so far. They're always in the top 3 nearly, which is fantastic. I don't know what's happening with Sainz with the car. The last few races, he's had a few problems. I don't know. He's well capable of doing this, but I just feel he just bottles it at the very last minute. I don't know why I feel like that, but it's happening. It shouldn't. He's a well capable driver. He wasn't like that all the time, even when he was with McLaren. So I can't see why that's happening. And it's kind of disappointing because, I really do think he can do it. I can see him winning races. If he's going to keep doing like that, I don't know. Even though he's going to be extended a contract with Ferrari for another 2 to 3 years, it doesn't seem good. They might change their mind. Hamilton said the Mercedes car felt horrendous in the qualifying as he struggled with P8. Obviously, with this whole season so far, Mercedes haven't done great. The car is not like it was the last 2 seasons, undefeatable, and now it's just slowly falling down to the grind of the grid and not doing well. There was one race, Grand Prix, Hamilton was P17, which was, I think, the very first race. So it's disappointing for them. Hamilton did say, it was horrendous and felt pretty bad. It's very bumpy for some reason. It's very hard for us to get below a second to Ferrari and Red Bull. Guys, just takes a lot of risks. Along with that, he's hoping for rain for the day, which, to be honest, it did come, but it was so much of it. Along with that, Leclerc said it was a dream to win Monaco. Well, that did not happen, did it? Heartbreaking for him because it was his home Grand Prix as well. And with that, Sergio Perez edges Charles Leclerc in practice 3 as well. So it just shows you there is good competition with Red Bull and Ferrari. I cannot wait for the rest of the season to see more of that. Let's see what else was there going on with. Oh yes, so again, Hamilton did say it was the bumpiest car. I think he also said that for this last weekend's Baku. Unfortunately, Lewis had a back injury, which he was in a lot of pain. You could see it after the end of the race. I was about to say match. Wow, I was thinking about football as well. Sorry. The end of the race, he was in such a pain that he was slowly getting out of the pit of the car. He said in interviews after the race that he just wanted the race to be over. He was in such pain. So hopefully he feels better for Canada. But I don't know what kind of injury he got from the back. Did he pull some muscle or whatever? But we hope he heals very quickly. Okay, so obviously I said there was a delay with the rain. It was almost an hour. The Mick Schumacher's crash led to a red flag. Thankfully, he's all okay. The race was initially supposed to start at 2 o'clock, so it didn't really start till 3, which is not great, let's be fair. Schumacher's crash, where was that? That was... Well, actually, to be fair, Nicholas Latifi also crashed as well, made contact with... And Lance Stroll made contact with barriers. I mean, Latifi's just crashing all the time. Let's hope he doesn't do it for Canadian Grand Prix this weekend, really. Because that would just be embarrassing. Also, I think Latifi needs to go from Williams. All he's doing this whole season has been crashing and engine failures with that as well. Not good enough, I think. With that, Schumacher, yes, had a crash at the swimming pool, Charchain, at lap 27. With his Haas splitting into 2 which is absolutely scary to think. Safety car was deployed before the race was red flagged at lap 30. Another delay, obviously, that took, which all the drivers were led to the pits at 4:15 in the evening. There was a 3-hour window meant that the race had to finish at lap 5 o'clock, which meant lap 77. And of course, it was Perez's first win of the season. So, and of course, Leclerc did say at the end of the race, slammed Ferrari's strategy mistakes after plummeting into first to fourth, which the home favourite admitting his latest crushing setback hurts a lot. The driver was furious on team radio, shouting, well, I can't swear, blah blah beep beep. Why, what are you doing? And after missing out on the podium in Monaco, he said after the race, the season is long, but we cannot do that. He also mentioned that it was a letdown, but criticised his team for the wrong calls. Sometimes mistakes can happen, but that's what been too many mistakes today overall, a stressed Leclerc said. So that was disappointing for him. Obviously, the end of the race, after 7 races, Verstappen has 125 points, Leclerc 116, Perez 110, and then Russell impressively with 84 so far. Could see that Russell could be a really good chance for Mercedes to get back up into the champions and drivers list, as he's so far is doing very well. Like, he's P3, P4. He was also P3 for Baku, so let's chat about that. Okay, so the qualifying was a good. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc beat Red Bull Perez for pole in Baku. It's fantastic. A dramatic session saw a red flag as Lance Stroll crashed in the qualifier 1. Came down to the final moments. I believe that's the second time he's done it now, crashing in Baku. It's always apparently it's the same turn. I think it's turn 2 he crashed. It was previous in the same years as well. So I don't know if he's not used to that turn at all. We have to see. And again, Russell once more outperformed his teammate Lewis Hamilton to place 7th in the grid. 7 world time champion posted that he was unnecessarily slowly today. Along with that, Gasly was between the 2 Mercedes for Alpha Tauri. I always struggle saying that. With P6 and his teammate right behind Hamilton in P8. So the grid, it was P1 was Leclerc, P2 was Perez, P3 was Verstappen, P4 was Sainz, P5 was Russell, P6 was Gasly, P7 was Hamilton, P8 was Tsunoda, P9 was Vettel, and P10 Alonso. So it's good to see Alonso up there as well, you know, in the last 2 races, qualifying great for Alpine. Along with that, all but 6 of the 20 cars went out on track, and one of the back long queue that had formed in the pit lane just because starting of flying laps, I believe. There was accusations of foul play from Williams' Alex Albon, who claimed that Fernando Alonso intentionally slowed down those behind him on their flying lap, but his complaints were vain and he exited alongside teammate Nicholas Latifi, Schumacher, Kevin oh my god, I can't pronounce Magnussen and Stroll. I can say it in my head, but I just can't pronounce it. Love it. Along with that, however, McLaren's Norris and Ricciardo were both subsequently exited in Q2, opportunity to pass them, but it was cleared for wrongdoing, which was interesting enough. So Leclerc remains biggest threat to Verstappen F1 championship, so we should be interesting. Along with that, Hamilton reveals obviously his back pain. I said he was praying to race would end. He said he had severe discomfort during practice as well, Friday and Saturday. I'm just trying to see on my reading of research that what kind of back injury was it? No, it doesn't say. But obviously, hopefully, it'll be better for this weekend. Ricardo produced an improved performance, placing 8 ahead of his teammate Norris. He expressed his sympathy for the Mercedes driver after the race. I feel like when pro basketball players bounce the ball really slow, that's when I feel like when someone is doing my helmet. So it got worse and worse. I sympathize with everyone that had it now. It's bad. I generally feel rattled. I'm definitely going to help out people and talk about it. I know George has been vocal about it, but it's not sustainable. It's not good for our general health and well-being. It's not normal high frequency load that we get. I'm shaking, probably because it's the first time I've felt that. Some others, it's definitely felt bad. Obviously, the Grand Prix for Canadians this weekend as well, so we'll be looking forward to that. Along with that, nothing else really happened. Obviously, it's a street circuit, so it's a lot more interesting, and it's quite a long straight. But it says that Hamilton and Russell expressed disappointment after the Baku qualifying. Russell said he was disappointed by Mercedes' performance in qualifying. Right, yeah. We all would. But yeah, Canadian Grand Prix will be this weekend. I just don't think Latifi's going to do anything for me in this. That sounds so bad, but it's true. But let's be fair. They haven't been going to Baku many times. Like the first year was 2017. It wasn't held obviously in 2020 because of COVID. But the last time it was Bottas for Mercedes. What else? Nothing really. They're lovely. But yeah, it will be the Canadian Grand Prix next. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch it because I'm working, but we'll find out the time zones for that. Let's see what time that is for us because I want to know. Apologies. Practice 1 will be the 17th at 6:30. Starts at 7. Practice 2 will be on the 17th again. That will be starting at 10 o'clock. Oh, that's late. Practice 3 will be on the following day on the 18th at 6 p.m. Qualifying will be on the 18th as well at 9 p.m. and the Grand Prix is at 7. Yeah, I won't be able to watch it. That's disappointing. And then after that, it's the Great Britain. Then Austria. All back to 2 p.m. Grand Prix, which is great if I'm not working, but hopefully I get to watch some of it. Yeah, United States will be like the latest 8 o'clock. Same with Mexico. Brazil will be 6 p.m. and then Abu Dhabi will be 1 o'clock, which is very early. So yeah, that's really it. I mean, I guess I'll make my predictions for this Grand Prix for Canada. Gonna say Verstappen's gonna P1. Perry's gonna be P3. I'm going to say Leclerc for P3. But if that does not work, I actually think Norris will be in the top 10 if it's good weather. I really want McLaren to get back up there. They are well capable. I don't know what's going on. The cars weren't great when they were doing the practice and testing out back in Barcelona. So we'll see. Obviously, there's new drivers as well. We got Zoe for Alfa Romeo. We're making his Formula 1 debut. Unfortunately, he's not doing great for him. He's been disqualified. Well, not disqualified. Hasn't really gotten there yet. He's probably still not settled in. And of course, having Kevin Magnussen back, absolutely smashing it for them. Like, doing so well for them. Obviously in the first few races when he was in the top 10. So getting some points for him as well, which is fantastic. Obviously, I think Schumacher is still trying to figure out what he's doing. And with that, yeah, the Canadian, Australian, Japanese, and Singapore Grand Prix are returning after 2 years absence due to COVID, so that'd be fun. Obviously, Russia had to be pulled out because of the invasion of Ukraine, and obviously, my thoughts and prayers with the Ukrainians. And obviously, there's quite a few Ukrainians in Ireland, so that's great to see, and hopefully, they enjoy their time, and hopefully, this war will end soon, and they can all go back to normal and return home and be at peace. Hopefully, I say that. I don't know what happened. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Sorry it sounds a bit scrambled. I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing with the podcast at the moment. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Make sure to come back. I will hopefully do another podcast reaction to Canada maybe this week. Hopefully next week I'll do it. So yeah, no further ado, I'll see you guys. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.